Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco. Sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
When I walk up and down the street at night, looking around, and I could see so many versions of myself when I was younger. That kind of girl, that energy of just like, it's Friday night, like I'm gonna just get trashed. And the way that binge drinking is in our society today, it's so normalized, means that bad things can happen very easily all the time. And I think that's the one thing that freaks me out the most now, is that I see my younger self in so many girls and think, what the hell is gonna happen to them tonight?
Taylor?
Yeah.
I have food.
Yay.
Okay, so before 5 o'clock, I need to have liquor. I need to have the IDs. I need to be ready. What liquor do they have?
They have, I think they have a couple kegs,
Okay.
and they have like any like drink, like mixed drinks, like vodka crayons and
Okay.
whiskey sours and rum and cokes. That's
Okay.
what it usually is, right?
Okay, so then I don't actually need.
You don't actually like really need liquor. I
I'm-
might just bring like, just have like a drink before you go.
First time I drank was in grade 8, so 13 turning 14 at the time. We took alcohol from my parents, and we just drank in the basement, and we played cards. We called the boys, and we had boys come over in grade 8.
Oh yeah, where am I? I feel like I lost my sunglasses. It's only 17%.
What's that?
Oh, let me put on my sweater. In grade 10, I had a fake ID. You can take a ferry to go to this little corner store, and like they're just really slack. They just know everyone's coming in underage, and they'll just sell you liquor. And
I snuck out all the time. I loved having friends. I loved feeling like I was one of the grade 9 girls. We'd go into a neighboring city and go to bars when we were 16, and no one would know. And it was like a fun little secret. Hello.
My family knew that I was experimenting with alcohol. A lot of my friends were too. I loved getting drunk. I loved running around, seeing as many people, going to as many parties as I could, being a bit reckless. And you felt cool, and you felt like you have no fear.
I started drinking in grade 11. I'll drink just to get drunk, and I think that's what most people do. So I will usually drink a bottle of wine at a pre-drink. A pre-drink is when you're just like starting to drink, so everybody will sit around and we'll play like some drinking games just to get everyone kind of going.
Are you excited?
Once we've like drank enough, we'll like go to a party or whatever.
You have your own off-campus apartment, and everybody can come there, and you can get a keg, and the beer never runs out, and it felt like this Valhalla. And it was just this amazing time, and I started to experience a lot more of what we would call binge drinking.
I guess the binge drinking party thing is because we all feel like it's the normal thing to do.
I think that the culture in university is very intense around alcohol because you're surrounded around it all the time. Everybody's partying, everybody's drinking every weekend.
Like all my friends that go to like other universities are definitely doing like the same thing. This time in your life, I think this is when it's the most accepted. I go out like at least once or twice a week, and nobody would consider that like a problem.
Listen up! Cops are here. Everyone's got to leave.
What's going on? Cops kicking us out. All right, let's go. Time to go.
I think everybody looks for a tribe. Everybody wants to belong, connection, and intimacy, love and friendship. And your inhibitions would drop, and you would tell them the truth about your life. And then they would tell you the truth, and you're incredibly bonded by that. What a beautiful ritual that was.
I know. Damn it.
I'll buy a bag of wine, which is like 5 1/3 bottles, and it's pretty cheap. That'll last me a little bit. Ollie, they didn't have lemon gin. This. What the hell? It's really good. Like, it is. It's really good. I've tried it before. And it was maybe, here's your money back.
Oh, okay.
It was maybe like $1 more than lemon gin.
Oh my God.
The party nights would be Wednesday and Fridays are more like chillaxed, like beer lounging style. Then Thursdays and Saturdays are more like going hard, like getting more dressed up. No one questions, oh, it's Saturday night, what are we gonna do tonight? We're going to go out, we're gonna drink. Everyone just assumes that Saturday night, you pre-drink, you go out, and that's that.
How's your leg?
It's not doing too well.
Wow, that was this morning.
That's what it looks like right now. Because they couldn't stitch it up all the way because there's too much scar tissue.
How did it happen again?
I was like going over a fence and I kind of like impaled myself. I know. I was always saying because it's right here. What if it'd been higher, like my knee?
I didn't know if you were gonna make it out to the
This morning?
this morning
Yeah.
because
I woke
was
up and I
she's
was
not
okay.
she's gonna be in the hospital still.
Yeah.
In the emergency room on the weekends, it's just
Oh,
like
it's
young,
like- yeah, someone told me.
It's literally just young drunk
Every-
idiots coming in there being
Yeah.
like, I did this when I was drunk.
No, I went in and they were like, "Are you a student?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You're like the 5th student tonight."
Well, like, God,
But I probably
get
didn't
off
have
my
alcohol
ass.
poisoning, so it's like I'm good. The person I was with literally had to like lift me off of the spike, like like I didn't think it was like as bad until I got into like the light and I was like, that's a lot of blood.
But you didn't like feel it as much as you normally would because you were drunk.
No, oh my gosh.
You got it all over me, didn't you? It's all good, all good.
How can you drink enough that you have a great time, but you don't drink so much that you lose yourself and you drink too far and you embarrass yourself?
Okay, I'm gonna start drinking. Later on in the night, if you were drinking, you can say things that you wouldn't normally say, and you're playing, and not be 100% responsible for everything that you do. This is a really big element of competition when it comes to dressing up, looking good. There's a larger population of females than males in a lot of universities now, which kind of changes the dynamics and increases the competition amongst girls for men.
When you're partying with guys, it's like you want to keep up with them, like you want to like impress them and stuff like that.
Yes. Once you know you're drinking, you're like, I'm not gonna worry about anything tonight. I'm just gonna do what I want.
Oh, whoa. Sorry.
I was so intensely modest. Give me enough alcohol and yeah, I'm gonna go after that guy that I like. Drinking makes me sexier. Drinking makes me funnier.
I like shots. Those are fun. 8 beer, 8 drinks would be probably what I'd have in a night where I plan on getting drunk. That's how you go from I'm here to I'm not here. Like, the lights are on, but no one's home. Like, she checked out. even when I do find myself, like, I did something kind of embarrassing, if you own it first, if you're like, oh yeah, no, I did that, no one holds it against you. You've already claimed it. It's already yours. Yeah, I threw up. And then they're like, right on the floor. And you're like, oh my God, I know. Right there in front of, oh my God. And then this happened. And then it's your story.
I think everyone like has had a night where they've been like, wow, you wake up and you're like, what did I do? And you're embarrassed and it's just a blackout and you don't remember.
Oh, this is still full. Do you want some beer?
Is that a full one? It's like the best part of having people over, though. It's that there's always like full cans of beer.
I remember countless times sort of hanging around with my friends on a Sunday morning, kind of rehashing what happened on Saturday, and it being so easily excused as like partying, binge drinking, and then throwing up as being something that you can turn into a joke.
Like 4 black flies, like I hadn't drank anything and I had to funnel it. It was so bad. Oh, I almost puked.
Me and my friends would just kind of brush it off. Some of them would call it, you know, the party tax, like, oh, whatever, like you're having a good time, like you pay a little bit for like the fun that you've had.
This tooth is fake because I bashed it out. I got some black eyes.
A lot of things can happen to you, especially being a girl.
If you're out with your friends and you're getting bottle service and there's sparklers and bottles and like, that seems cool. They don't show you the other side of things where like you can get into these situations where a guy is trying to pull you into a cab and like take you to his condo and do awful things to you. They don't show you that because that's not nice and that's not fun.
It's that time of night when every floor has a banana peel, and if I'm not careful, I might find my face against the ground. The last thing I hear is my heels, steady as a metronome, echoing through the lobby. And then there's nothing. Not a goddamn thing. A curtain falling in the middle of the act, leaving minutes and sometimes hours in the dark, but anyone watching me wouldn't notice. They'd simply see a woman on her way to somewhere else. With no idea, her memory just snapped in half. When the curtain lifts again, this is what I see. There's a bed, and I'm on it. Sheets are wrapped around my ankles, soft and cool against my skin. I'm on top of a guy I've never seen before, and we're having sex. Hold on. Can this be right? I'm having sex with a man, and I've never seen him before. I have so many questions, but one is louder than the others. In literature, it's the question that launches grand journeys, because heroes are often dropped into deep, dark jungles and forced to machete their way out. But for the blackout drinker, it's the question that launches another Saturday. How did I get here? A blackout is when you drink so much that your long-term memory shuts down. You can still walk, you can still talk, you can still make jokes, you still interact with people, but the next day you won't remember any of it. It's basically an alcohol-imposed amnesia.
I was at a bar and I picked up a guy. I was binge drinking with my girlfriends. He's a guy, so it wasn't difficult to be like, take me home. I'm wasted. I don't remember having sex with him or anything, but in the morning when I woke up and in my walk of shame, grabbed all of my things and stumbled into his hall to get to work, I noticed that I had these 2 handprints on my hips where he had been holding me while we were having sex. Like, that gives you kind of an example of like how like a rough of a session that was.
Many yeses on Friday night would have been no's on Saturday morning. You can't control what it does for you. You can't select, I want it to change what I consent to in these categories and not these. But alcohol absolutely changed my consent.
I guess I laugh because of the severity of the situation. Like, I've had these conversations with my girlfriends and been like, wow, like that's like borderline rape.
As long as drinking works for you, you continue to go back to it. And it's when it stops working and you're not getting the rewards and people don't think you're funny and the guys don't think you're hot. Like, as soon as it stops working, that's when you're like, oh, wait a minute, let's reevaluate this thing for a minute. That's why you can never get at people with sort of messages of what might happen. What might happen is a list that I could build till the end of time. But what did happen is something that you have to reckon with.
I had 2 drinks at the bar and I ended up passing out in the booth, coming to, and I was in jail. Somebody had put something in my drink that night.
I would wake up and be vomiting. I had a coworker coming, like it would almost be moments of like cleaning up my face before I would answer the door. Or I would be passed out, you know, on the front doorstep, coming home at night.
And the cop said to me, I'm not your dad, but I want to tell you this, that if you continue hanging out in the places you're hanging out and continue hanging out with the people you're hanging out with, something really bad's gonna happen to you.
They kept buying me drinks and shots. These guys got me into a cab with them and took me back to their condo. Like they were getting a little more aggressive, a little more hands-on. Like, I'm sure if I did not wake up in that moment and try and get myself out of that situation, I probably would have been raped, 100%. You can't describe what that feeling is when you're in danger and you're trying to stop it.
I think people's darkest side comes out when they're that drunk, hooking up with people that they didn't really want to, or just generally not knowing what happened, wishing that you did.
I think it definitely happens more than people talk about, or like or admit.
Yeah. 'Cause yeah, if it was a situation where like you didn't get roofied and like dragged into a room, then like you would obviously hear about that. But if it's just kind of like maybe not 100% consensual, I'm sure like a lot of girls wouldn't say anything, or guys, you know. Yeah. Like maybe you wouldn't want to put a name on them when they were your friends. Yeah. I don't know.
It's such a gray area. There's like so much gray area.
Yeah.
The worst part is waking up in the morning and part of you wants to ask people, but part of you just doesn't ever want to know. I wanted to go out, get drunk, and maybe just like make out with a guy. I don't know, I just wanted to feel good about myself, I guess. So I stayed on the dance floor and I was dancing with people and I was very drunk, so it's all sort of a blur. But I do know that I was dancing with guys. And I went home. I was having panic attacks. I was having flashbacks and nightmares and insomnia. I couldn't sleep. I went to the doctor and had found out I had gotten chlamydia. and I don't know where I got it from.
I was with someone that I had been seeing for quite some time. Was it a bad date? Was it my fault? Did it happen because I was too drunk? And this whole like binge drinking and party scene, it's so casual. And like with hookup culture, where do you draw the line? She says no, does that really mean no? I didn't know that until I had told a friend that story about what had happened. She's like, honey, you were raped. And I'm like, oh. Like you don't even know that you've been raped, and that's the problem. Girls are afraid to say no. It's just whole like self-worth and not having enough love for yourself and things like that, and going outside of yourself and wanting to be accepted and not wanting to be, you know, the boring girl, and like wanting to be fun. Men and boys think that somewhere in their brain that it's okay to sleep with a girl that's inebriated. Rape culture is so normal. Rape prevention isn't wear a longer dress. It's teach boys not to rape people. If someone says no, you stop.
At first, I didn't remember anything about the night, but over time, I remembered sitting in a booth with at least one guy. And then I remember being on the ground, like maybe I was pushed on the ground, but I was definitely on the ground. And there was what felt like a group of guys around me. That's the only night that I don't remember, in that clearly something. The worst part is I don't even know what happened. Like, part of me is like, did it even happen? You know? But it must have, you know, because I don't know where I got it from. The effect runs so deep, you know? It's not just like a physical violation, it's like your emotional and mental violation. It's a violation of like a family, because I can't tell my mom and dad. How do I tell them that your little girl went out and just got drunk at a bar when she was 17 and got raped? You know? How can I tell my dad that?
There would be a sweet spot for maybe drink 2 or 3, where you feel warm and you're starting to relax and you're feeling good. But then I continue and I drink 4, 5, 6, 7, and I black out. I'm falling down, I'm getting injured, I'm getting bruised, I'm saying things to people I love that aren't true, that I don't mean. I'm hanging out with people who take advantage of me. I was hooking up with a lot of guys, and I thought, I might as well get paid for this if I'm doing it for free. And if that were to happen, I don't think I would have came back from that. I would have been broken. And that's what I thought I was worth, because it was happening so often.
What kind of drugs or alcohol you consume tonight?
Just alcohol.
Just alcohol?
Literally, if anything, like 2 drinks or 4 drinks.
Have you had anything to eat today?
No, just yogurt. Before I had yogurt, we had alcohol, and before that, it was just yogurt.
So are you feeling it?
Yeah, I feel perfectly fine. 100%, I do not feel intoxicated.
I probably would have died. If I continued drinking and doing what I was doing, I fully believe that I would have died.
Sometimes I feel like I'm hitting my head on this brick wall where I'm like, why do women drink so much? And it's like, women drink so much because it feels good. Like, it feels good and it feels like freedom, and everyone wants freedom. I think that I got a lot of my received messages about what it was to be a young person from the movies. I was a movie obsessive and a television obsessive, and that's who told me how to be in the world.
When you're watching like the Kardashians and you see them doing it, and Rihanna's a VIP and Rihanna's partying in the booth, and then like, oh, well, I'm 19 and I'm hot and I can get into this club, and like I'm in the booth with all these guys and we're popping bottles, you feel cool.
The whole party scene and the glamorization of all that, you think you're somebody important when you're there doing that.
And so it's a way to like escape what you're feeling, and it's a way to escape your insecurities, especially if you don't look like that image.
So what we waiting for? Let's go. Let's ride. Just me and you. 'Cause it feels right. Ooh, right now. Let's get out of town. Just me and you. It just feels right.
Maybe you drank too much, maybe you did dumb things, you were suddenly Carrie Bradshaw. And there was this brand of single, empowered ladies. And the idea was that you drank a lot, you had kind of marauding sexual adventures, and high five, you're living the life.
Shot, 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 shot.
Okay, what's this one too?
Two good friends and a good. Yeah, I guess now. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, there's a big push towards marketing and women.
When you wake up in the morning and you turn on your computer, whether you're checking your Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you're gonna be just inundated with images and status updates, event notifications that are pushing alcohol.
I mean, there's like wine companies called Girls Night Out. Like, yeah, that's obviously very targeted at a woman. I've never tried Skinny Girl, any of Bethany Frankel. I've never tried any of her products before. But when you have a tagline like that, you're really feeding into the fantasy of what somebody wants. Like, are you gonna drink that and be like, oh, I'm a skinny girl now. I feel like I'm so skinny.
other companies do like young people partying out on a dock in the summer, and you're like, I want to be doing that.
It's like suddenly during the day, it's like, oh, it's like nice outside, I want to drink, like.
And trying to make alcohol taste as good as it can.
Yeah.
With like flavored vodkas and.
They have like birthday cake flavored and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
One of the reasons I drank was because I wanted to say yes to everything. I was shy, I was insecure, I doubted myself.
The voids are, sometimes it can be sadness, sometimes it can be loneliness. When I was younger, I was a very sad person, using alcohol to fill those voids.
I think there was a certain pressure that I was trying to escape, whether that was a pressure to be successful or a pressure to be something that I wasn't sure I could be.
I put a ton of stress on myself to be perfect, to excel in everything I did. Feeling different, feeling off, comparing myself to other people.
There's pressures for women to be really sexy and beautiful, but then there's also pressure for women to feel comfortable in who they are.
The messages that you receive just from your peers or from your parents or from whoever, and it's like you have to look a certain way, or if you don't look a certain way, you're not good enough. I was overweight and insecure, and it was like you go out and party and it's like you drink, you're not thinking about that.
I need to find my stuff. If body image is an issue, you're most likely not gonna wanna go out that night because there are girls that just look better than you. And that hurts your ego.
I like my side profile more than like my.
Really? Me too. I like the side of my
I'd
rather be straight on than like.
Well, like my face I like straight on, but my like body I like.
It's so competitive with girls. They all compete with each other. Like, it's seeing the perfect models, and
There is a lot of pressure on us.
well, I just want to make it cool.
You drink on an empty stomach, which I did all the time because I was always trying to conserve calories and not gain too much weight.
After girls drink, they'll puke after the bar to try because they got drunk, but now they want the calories gone.
And I never thought anything about my alcohol intake other than I better skip dinner tonight because I'm gonna binge drink later.
The heavier I got, the more insecure I got about my body, and the more I drank, and the more I drank, the more I blacked out, and the more shameful I felt. When someone gives you something that solves one of the fundamental problems of your life, which is that you don't feel comfortable in your own body, wow. That's like a magic carpet ride. Like, that's everything.
That eases anxiety, and all the pressures that women kind of feel about image are kind of just like quieted. The volume's turned down on it when you're drinking, and that's a nice feeling. And like, I'm not even thinking about how I look at all. I'm not even thinking about how I'm acting. I'm not overanalyzing the way people are looking at me or if they're responding to my jokes. So why not drink more?
And you think everyone else is doing it, and you're comparing yourself, and you're like, oh, well, I'm not that bad, or I'm not as bad as they are. Alcohol is just constantly there.
If I told you all the negative consequences of binge drinking, would you stop?
You know, I honestly don't think it would make a huge difference.
Why?
I don't know. It's such a hard thing. Like, everyone's just grown up with it. Like, drinking is the thing to do once you're in university, once you're of age. If maybe alcohol was seen as gross, then people would stop doing it as much. But it's not seen as gross, it's seen as fun, it's seen as social, it's seen as a norm. Yeah.
Why do women not listen when we tell them that drinking is bad for them?
When I was 19, I went to the school nurse and she asked me how much I was drinking. It's like 35, 40 drinks a week. And she advised me to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. But I wasn't interested.
I was in a blackout and I texted a friend of mine and I said, come to this bar, we're all here having fun. And he showed up at the bar and I was a mess. His heart broke because he saw me and the shape I was in. And he said, you have a problem? Get in my car tomorrow at 11:30, it'll be outside your house. If you get in the car, I will help you. If you don't get in the car, I can't be your friend anymore.
It made me less funny, more aggressive. It was doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do. And I was losing friendships. It's around that time that you're not so cute anymore. And the part where you fall off your bar stool, no one thinks that's funny.
My partner at the time basically said, like, I cannot live with you. I cannot be married to you if you're gonna be like this. I knew that I couldn't be the kind of mom that I wanted to be. I couldn't be the kind of person I wanted to be or the partner I wanted to be unless I stopped drinking. It was driving my life.
I wish that I hadn't cared so much about what I looked like in high school. And on to university, I would tell girls binge drinking now, just like I tell my girlfriends that continue to binge drink, that it's not worth it.
When I look back at like my younger self, I wish I hadn't had so many sort of dark days when I was like 19 or 20. I disrespected my own life and my own body.
Young women who are binge drinking too much and they're in their head and they're trying to figure out all these other things. That girl that is flat ironing her hair and putting on Spanx and wearing heels and contouring her makeup, all this elaborate thing to put my best foot forward in the world, and then is going out and drinking 2 bottles of wine and falling down a staircase. I want so badly to be seen a certain way. I want to be seen as pretty and confident and together. And then I go into the world and I unravel it. If anybody had told me, Sarah, you're basically living your life like a frat boy, I would have been so offended by that. But that is what I was doing.
I called my parents and told them what had been going on. And I went to treatment. And when you're in that scene, you don't think there's any way of getting out at the time. And you feel empty inside because of the things you're doing. And you think your reputation's gonna follow you forever. And you think you're stuck. But you're not. Because I got out of it. And my life today is so amazing. And I actually like who I am today. I love who I am today.
It's really hard to avoid alcohol. It's hard to avoid because socially it's there from your friends. It's hard because it's there with your family. It's one of those things that you just can't escape no matter how hard you try. It's all you can do is try and be like the best person that you can be and know that, I hate saying it gets better, but like knowing that it gets better. It might take a long time, but it's gonna get better.
I think that it's important that we have this conversation because a very destructive lifestyle is being glorified, and I feel like there are very few people that are able to step back and realize like, hey, yeah, this is problematic.
I have like an actual career now, like a grown-up job. Not drinking let me do that. I have focus, I have drive, I have ambition, all things that I did not care to have when I was binge drinking. I don't want to be blackout. I want to remember things.
I shouldn't be waking up not remembering my night at all. It's not okay. And people think that's okay, and that's what we need to change.
On a very basic level from self-care, maybe not go to the bar and have a couple shots and have a reckless night. I just think we can't control what the media is putting out there. We can't control, what songs these artists are writing, but we have control of us. We have control of our actions, of our behavior, of our thoughts, what we think, how we see the world. And I think that that's what's important, and that's where the change happens.
Hi, I'm going to have a half serve of the broccoli salad and a regular cafe mocha.
I think a lot of people are putting themselves at a lot of risk. I think a lot of women are living dangerously. I think that it's unhealthy. I think that there's a better way to live.
I'm very open about my emotions and how I'm feeling, and I just went and talked to someone, and I said, look, this is the culture nowadays, and, I don't like the way I'm drinking right now. How do I change that? A lot of young women don't, and I think that they should feel like they can go and talk to someone about it. Educating them on what is a drinking problem, how much is too much, because it's a conversation that, especially at universities, should be happening.
We're spinning out of control, watching life go round in cyclical motions. Drying out the dirty laundry, we've been so cautious of hiding. Spinning, never-ending cycle